If you were blind and couldn't differentiate a man from a woman, and you find yourself falling in love with one, but was told that that person was of the same sex as you, would you fall out of love with him or her despite the loving relationship that you two have shared? Will you give up a lifetime of happiness with that person just to make the other people who see your relationship wrong and immoral feel right? Can you imagine those people getting married and divorced again, and you not even being allowed to get married once? Good day. My name is ARCEGA, and I'll be talking about same-sex marriage. Same-sex marriage or gay marriage is the union of two people who are of the same biological sex or gender. This can be performed in a secular civil ceremony or in a religious setting. Many people do not approve this type of marriage. Why? Because, like how the black men were enslaved by the whites, and like how women were overpowered by the men in the past, authoritarians exist just to dictate how everyone should live their lives. Heterosexuals, or the straight people, find homosexuality not normal, and so forces gay people to conform to what society has been accustomed to. They will not let homosexual couples receive the same benefits as them when wed. These people oppose gay marriage because they think that homosexuality is against the Bible and the norms, and that if successfully wed, gay parents are unfit to raise children. The supporters of this marriage, however, especially the LGBT community, find love as the only ground for marriage, and not gender or sexual orientation, unlike those heterosexuals who get married for other reasons like money and fame. If those heterosexuals are concerned about the sanctity of marriage, then why do they end it with divorce? If they are worried about the upbringing of the children of the homosexual couples, then why are there many abortions and many children left alone to fend for themselves in the streets? I don't get it why there is still a number of people, homophobic or not, who see homosexuals as defects in nature. They think of them as very sinful people who will perish in hell because of them being as such. They see themselves as lesser sinners than homosexuals, just because they are straight and are living like how God made them, a man and a woman, Adam and Eve. Lesbians, gay, bisexuals, and transgenders are not sinful people. What they are only doing is loving the people they adore, no matter the gender, same or not. These people are only being true to themselves. If you find them truly sinful, then you should also open your eyes and your mouth and judge the murderers, prostitutes, pedophiles, and the like just as much. There is nothing wrong with being gay. What is wrong is judging those who are gay. When the Bible speaks about homosexuality, its emphasis is on behavior. God loves sinners, but condemns sin. The Bible's verdict on homosexual behavior, as well with all sexual immorality, is that it is sinful. Let us recall Genesis chapter 19, verses 1 to 11. When God sent two angels disguised as men to Sodom and Gomorrah, Lot welcomed them to his home. Not long, his house was surrounded by the townsmen. They ordered Lot to give them the angels so they could have sex with them. But the angels were under Lot's protection, so instead of giving them the angels, Lot offered them his two virgin daughters. But the townsmen won't budge, so the angels bolted out the door, blinding all the men at the door of the house. Many people think that homosexuality, defined in the Bible as intercourse with the same sex, is a wicked act in the story. However, I see it differently. Yes, it's true that the men's wanting to rape the angels was wrong, but Lot offering his daughters instead? Why didn't he think of anything else to bargain instead of risking the lives and the virginity of his daughters? What kind of a father was he? And he was a guy that God saved from his wrath in Sodom. And he was also the guy who later became the father of his daughter's sons. We cannot really judge homosexuals based on how they were depicted in the Bible. Homosexuals of our time are different from the homosexuals they had during their time. What we didn't know was that during that time, men, especially outsiders of a certain town, were sexually abused to rob them of their dignity and manliness. The raping of men was their only basis of their definition of homosexuality, which, because of that, also became their basis of why homosexuality is a crime. At present, homosexuals should not be seen that way because their focus is on love. In our country, same-sex marriage, even civil partnership, is not yet permitted. The country's conservative opposition, alongside campaigners against same-sex marriage, are taking the issue to the Constitutional Council, but the council is thought unlikely to block the measure. I read this article about the same-sex marriage bill passed in the Philippine Congress. It said that the proposal was dead on arrival to both the Senate and the House of Representatives. Those people in high positions in our country didn't even bother to hear out the voices of the many gay couples whose only desire is to be properly wed and be acknowledged as one. Unlike here in the Philippines, many countries have already legalized same-sex marriage. According to the journal.ie, there are 14 countries worldwide that allow same-sex marriage. They are the Netherlands, New Zealand, Belgium, Spain, Canada, South Africa, Norway, Sweden, Portugal, Iceland, Argentina, Denmark, Uruguay, and France. Spain, a Catholic country like ours, allows gay couples to wed. So why can't we allow it as well? Traditional marriage is one of the reasons why some people are against same-sex marriage. A traditional marriage is defined as the union between a man and a woman, but they don't see how it changed over time. In the past, fathers decided on who their daughters married. Men had a number of wives, and marriage between relatives was allowed. In the Bible, Jacob wanted to marry Rachel, but Laban, her father, wed him with Leah, his firstborn, to follow a tradition. As years passed, Laban allowed him to wed Rachel, his wife's sister. In short, the father decided to marry off both his daughters to the same guy. So if this happened, why can't the definition of a traditional marriage change a little bit so that the gay people can marry the ones they love when and where they choose to? All I am saying is that please don't be too harsh on the LGBT community and their desire to tie their love in a knot. All they want is to be acknowledged by everyone as one and as each other's spouses. If you love someone so much, wouldn't you want to marry them? That's the same thing with gay people. They love someone so much that they will do whatever it takes and how long it takes to marry that person and to start a family with them. I see nothing wrong in that because I believe that everyone has the right to love, no matter who it is. Is there any other valid reason as to why gay marriage is wrong other than it's in the Bible? If the Bible was never written and you didn't know that gay marriage was wrong, would you still be against it? Again, my name is ARCEGA, and thank you for listening.